Alright, everybody. Alright, well, first of all, obviously you're probably a little bit concerned from the last review. Well,
it's time for bed.
Well, no, that's not what I wanted to say. Basically, my mom has gotten past her COVID. She said it was kind of like the flu. I have not felt any symptoms from my last review. I feel totally and perfectly fine. And I think we're probably going to jump right into the next episode. And I think this next episode, I probably have some mixed feelings about it. But I'll probably come up with how I feel as the episode goes along. Anyways, this is Fluttershy Leans In. So this episode starts out in Fluttershy's cottage as we basically see Angel practicing for Wipeout. So, wait, so Angel is practicing parkour? Like, what is happening? Or maybe Angel's auditioning for American Ninja Warrior. Because I literally have no idea what's going on, and he makes a leap and he ends up getting hurt, which normally I would feel bad for, but I would find that scene enjoyable because it's Angel getting hurt. Wait, Ponyville parkour? So, kind of makes you wonder. I actually want to see what the Ponyville parkour scene is like. You know the video game Brink that basically kind of advertises parkour? It's something like that. Now I just want to see if somebody has a video of Ponyville parkour, because I kind of see what that is. So, anyway, so while Angel is suffering in agony, because, like I said, it's my most favorite scenes of the episode, because it's Angel in agony, Fluttershy basically goes to the vet, who we have not seen since Season 2, but during that time we discovered that there are a lot of animals backing up in the vet, with the latest addition being a giraffe. And let's see, what else does she have in there? Let's see, it looks like there's a toucan, a sloth, koalas, a snake, and another cameo from Tank, 2 episodes in a row, and ducks. Jesus, this place must really be like a zoo. Oh, and deer are in there too. Oh, and raccoons. Seriously? She said the thing. So realizing how overwhelmed the nurse feels, Fluttershy wants to try to help out the nurse by basically saying that she would try to build a sanctuary for all the animals, which apparently also has a bear in it too. Kind of makes you wonder, do all these animals really need to go to this frickin' vet just to feel better? But in any case, Fluttershy basically wants to step in and basically explains that she wants to create a sanctuary where she can take care of all the animals to help lighten the burden.
Dr. Fauna needs my help with a serious problem. A friendship problem? No, the vet clinic is maybe, overrun with adorable critters in dire need of a safe place to lay their heads and...
Well, I'm sure most of those animals are wild animals, so I don't really think they need a sanctuary. I'm not trying to discredit the episode, but you know they're wild animals. Just saying.
They don't have anywhere to go.
I refer you to my last statement.
Oh, that's just awful. I know.
Yeah, Dr. Fauna's always fixing Winona up when she ain't feeling too fine. So helping her out is A-okay by me.
Yeah.
So the main 6 step in to try to help Fluttershy, as basically Pinky, Rarity, and Applejack basically recommend some ponies that they know to basically help come up with Fluttershy's vision on creating the sanctuary, which is pretty basic and stuff. I'm going to get more into that, why that's the case. But in any case, her friends do try to help out, as Fluttershy does meet with the contractors and basically tries to explain to her vision of what she wants to do.
Thank you, Rupert.
Wait a minute, the snake's name is Rupert? I'm probably expecting the snake to grow a beard in the next few episodes and start screaming.
It's wonderful that you all could join me to discuss the Ponyville Sanctuary project. My friends have so many nice things to say about each of their talents. This is a big project, so I'm happy to have such experienced ponies working on it with me.
Rarity has impeccable taste in design and so I can't wait to work with you.
Kind of makes you wonder, how does she know you? Well, obviously it's probably one of the parts I fast forward, because that way I knew who any of these ponies are. But quite frankly, this probably leads into one of the problems of the episode. You basically kind of pinpoint where this episode's going to lead. And yes, I know I said 1,000 times with episodes like May the Best Pet Win or The Last Roundup, it's not the journey, it's not the predictability, it's the execution. The problem is that the fact of the matter is I gave those episodes a pass because those episodes take back in seasons 1 and 2. This is season 7, and I'm honestly expecting a lot more unpredictableness in the morals to happen.
I think so.
Yeehaw! I'm just looking forward to helping you out, ma'am. And yeah.
Of course.
So, Pinkie Pie said you drew up some blueprints?
Not exactly. More of a dream board.
Yeah, so as soon as you put those lines together, you could probably tell this is going to lead to the whole dream versus reality situation. We'll get more into that later in the episode. But basically by this point, you kind of know where this episode's going to lead. The 3 ponies who are the contractors will have absolutely no idea what Fluttershy is trying to do here, but because she leaves the instructions so vague and usually gives her looks, they really have no idea what she's trying to ask them to do. Case in point, Fluttershy tries to explain the vision to the constructor pony, but the constructor pony thinks of, well, mostly construction.
That way, the animals can return to the forest right when they feel ready.
I like it.
You know, I designed the Ponyville Hospital. I could do the exact same thing right here. I still have the blueprints. Though it'll take a while to clear all these trees.
But I don't want to clear the trees.
Oh god, is this going to be another one of those Captain Planet type of lessons about not cutting down the trees? And for the record, I did manage to see Sonic Sat AM, and it has a lot more subtle environmental message in this. Seriously, are we going to go into the whole Lorax territory where they're going to start to see that the trees are living things too? Seriously, this type of message was existed all over the 90s. We don't need this in... When did the season come out? 2018?
I want to use them.
Are you sure? What you're talking about doesn't really seem like a cohesive structure. Or any structure I'm familiar with.
And like I said, you pretty much know where this is going to lead. Fluttershy has these expectations of how she wants her vision to be, but the 3 contractors really have no idea what she's talking about, and they pretty much do their own things behind her back. And they're proud of it.
All those shades of brown and green, but there's no giraffe.
Giraffe? You're calling the colors of beautiful trees giraffe?
Well, then again, I'm assuming that this is another asshole pony from Canterlot, so I'm assuming that he never saw the forest a day in his life.
Exactly. The natural look is not in right now. This is best try.
I appreciate your input, but I just know the animals would be happy with dirt brown pillows and leaf green apples.
I'll look into it.
Thank you.
When a client has a difference.
Sometimes they need me to
You know what? I'm not going to keep bringing this up because we're almost getting to that point. And so, anyways, what seems to be what could be the nicest of the three?
Critters depending on that. What is it, Sugar Cube?
I'm looking for something less like a cage, more like a nice hug. Maybe we use that part.
Well, then it won't be a cage.
And I think you're missing the point here because we're not trapping the animals. Because God knows there are not any hunting ponies that were probably going to try to hunt the animals for sport and need these freaking cages to make it seem like they're in prison.
Exactly. Ooh, this is the perfect space for a little nest. I'll take a bunch of these. Anything else the animals can burrow into.
You sure you don't want something more secure for the critters? She does have a point there. You wouldn't want a bunny wandering into the wrong cage, would you?
You know what, let's just fast forward, because I'm just basically going to save you some trouble. So, like I said before, the three ponies basically go behind Fluttershy's back and pretty much do what they think is best, as Fluttershy finally, well, probably one of the few things we get to see is, which I think a lot of people to this day still overlook, is that we see Fluttershy being able to stand up for herself and basically not get so overwhelmed as she basically asserts herself. Well, it's basically kind of like we saw her in Putting Your Hoof Down, but done right.
George, with these curtains blocking the light, how is a bird gonna sing in the sunshine? And this is the opposite of a nice hug. I know you all worked hard, but none of you did anything I asked for.
That's not true. We used the trees just like you asked.
Which I'm assuming, based on the wood you're tapping, I'm assuming you had to cut them down anyways.
And that curtain fabric is organic. It's got natural fibers.
I think that being organic is the least of their problems.
And I added pillows inside my cages. That should count as feeling like a hug.
So then by that logic, that means that you are a failure, and you're an idiot for believing that. Heck, as Fluttershy agrees with this.
I do not know much about construction, or interior design, or banking, but I am an expert at one thing: the care of animals. And the animal need is a sanctuary, not this.
Maybe your vision wasn't all it was cracked up to be.
Well, up yours too, jackass!
My vision isn't the problem here. I told you all exactly what I wanted, and none of you listened to me.
Alright, so this is what I've been saving for on this, because this kind of gets a bit shoddy in terms of the moral, which, yes, I will agree, in terms of watching this for an older audience, is the whole dream versus reality thing and the limitation that it brings upon. Fluttershy is in the right here if we're talking about a dream setting. In the real life setting, she would basically look like the jackass, and basically the contractors would say no to her on the spot. That being said, the problem with that argument is the fact that even though it's a lame argument, let's not forget what the initial intended audience for the show was. It was for. It was for kids. And kids will always think of having these big dreams to want to grow big someday, to have these grand ideas, because that's how kids are. Believe me, I was like this too, so I can understand why this doesn't bother me. Yes, in terms of watching it as an older audience, yes, in a real life situation, Fluttershy would be the one that would be in the wrong. However, if we're thinking it more like kids, we would see that the contractors were in the wrong. Because they were the assholes who went behind Fluttershy's back. Now, yes, you can make the argument that Fluttershy was very vague in her instructions But instead of trying to work through with her, they went behind her back and did what they felt was best. Now, yes, it's definitely very shoddy, as basically this is how I want it to be, you guys are wrong, and I'm right scenario. Yes, that is a bit contradictory, and I think is really just not really a good mess. Yeah, so like I said, the moral is a bit shoddy if you're thinking more of an older lens. However, if we're thinking more of a younger audience, you need to understand how kids are going to think about dreams and reality. So they basically go back to the drawing board as basically Pinky, Rarity, and Fluttershy apologize to Fluttershy as she basically decides to stand up with her friend and wants to set the sanctuary her own way.
What I want, then this is what needs to happen. Oh, with animals, of course.
Wow! You should call you Flutter Gold now.
To get things back on track, I called in a favor from an old friend. He'll be here any minute.
I thought you said no more experts.
This is one expert I know I can trust to put the animals first. But there's no pony better at moving.
I've heard some pony needs instruction help for their critters.
Big Daddy McDonald. We met each other back when the map called me and Fluttershy to the Smoky Mountains.
Alright, so I gotta get this episode's points. So, yes, I think what a lot of reviewers are missing, I think, on this point is that the episode does also let you know that it's better to know experts that you know very well, not just strangers that are recommended by friends and acquaintances. Experts that you know personally, that you believe in, would be the best way to succeed. Also, as I've stated before, and plenty of times whenever continuity is brought up, hooray for continuity!
And certainly knows his stuff when it comes to building and caring for animals.
Well, shucks. Let's not stand around talking about it. Let's build up the sanctuary!
Alright, so long story short, they build the sanctuary as Fluttershy gets all her friends and to basically build the sanctuary the way that she wants it, as she gets the surprise that the sanctuary looks rather nice.
Fluttershy, this is amazing.
Now you should have plenty of room at the clinic, because once you've treated them, they can recover here. With my help, of course. It's okay, Lola. It's all
What's up with the random names given to these animals?
Sometimes, all we need to do is believe in our dreams. And when we finally reach our goal, we'll know that it was worth what it took to get there. Because the view will be even better than you imagined.
That's kind of a shoddy note to leave out on. It's kind of what I brought up. That's kind of what I mean by the shoddy morals, is that the believe in your dreams, you believe in hard enough, you will achieve. Now the thing is, through hard work, you can achieve your dreams. And yes, I get that's what the episode is going for. But because I've heard this thing so many freaking times, the believe in your dreams, and you believe in hard enough, you'll eventually make your goal. I have seriously heard this type of message so many goddamn times that it's hard for me to find new ways to try to get inspired. People say it on reality TV shows, those kids shows, literally every show on the freaking planet at one point or another has these type of messages. And I think that this is the problem with the moral, is that the reality is that it's going to take a lot of hard work to achieve your dream. And sometimes that the dreams and goals you set can be incredibly unrealistic, and there are chances that you may not achieve it. Yes, you can keep working hard at it, but it gets to a point where it seems like the dream is just, it's unreachable at points if you don't have a clear vision of what you want. And like I said, this episode basically gets to the point where Fluttershy was in the right, which technically she was, and I pretty much already went through it. In any case, that was Fluttershy Leans In, and I don't know, the episode was mediocre. I don't know, I think it's just because the episode, it doesn't do anything new in terms of the moral. Like I said, I've heard this type of moral so many goddamn times that there's just nothing new for me to talk about in terms of these morals. And that it doesn't really I don't know, it doesn't really set the realities of wanting to go through a dream. And that it seems like that the problems that Fluttershy was going through, they just seem to have gotten over just rather quickly. And yes, I know, it's a 22-minute episode, but the reality is that there are limitations when trying to achieve your dreams. And that you kind of have to be prepared for those realities and curveballs that come at you if you want to achieve this dream. Now, and honestly, because that this is a predictable episode, and because I've seen it so many times, it doesn't seem like this episode does anything new with it. Now, with that being said, there are a couple of things I did like. I think probably the big standout for me is just honestly seeing how far Fluttershy was able to come, how she was easily able to stand up to the experts on her own, and how she explained it without basically being, well, like what happened in putting your hoof down. But we get to see how far Fluttershy has come. Now, where exactly the sanctuary thing came from and the caring of the animals, I honestly, like some other reviewers said, I kind of was expecting this type of thing from Season 1 or Season 2, but again, it seems like nothing new was added to this, and it seems like the whole sanctuary thing just came right the hell out of nowhere. Here. Now, with that being said, it is nice to basically see some nice callbacks, and we do get to see how Fluttershy is able to achieve a goal on her own, albeit unrealistic at times. But honestly, the episode at times gets so freaking boring that a lot of the stuff you can fast forward through, it's really not worth bringing up. So honestly, as a whole, I'd probably say Fluttershy Leans In, it's probably a C. I think the episode is just so dull, and it's because my opinion matters the most, I'm right, you're wrong, and the whole achieving your dreams thing I have heard so many times that it kind of dulls the episode down for me, and nothing new is done with it. I mean, in terms of the episode itself, it's not the worst episode, trust me, because there were far more episodes I hate, but the episode is so dull, and in the words of Rainbow Dash in Swarm of the Century, it's so boring. Because literally, because you know what's going to happen, a lot of the stuff you can fast forward through, and you really could care less. So, alright. So as a whole, Fluttershy Leans In, a C. Alright. Hopefully next time I'll be able to take a look at an episode that's at least slightly more interesting. Alright, I'm Flutcan Gamer, and next time I will see you in Forever Philly. See you guys next time. Bye.